Hey everyone, this is David Pike, the Motorcity Mechanic. Now in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the newer recalls that Chrysler just announced. And it pertains to approximately 1.5 million Ram trucks. And the number or designation for that recall is T79. T as in Tom, and the number is 79. Now the things that we're going to be covering in this video are the official notification from Chrysler word for word, and I'm also going to go into the 3 different processes recalls such as this go through. I'm also going to show you a failed part, what you ought to do in the meantime while you're waiting for the recall to come out, and also I'm going to give you a number you can contact if you got any concerns or questions concerning this recall. So to begin with, I'm going to go ahead and read you the official statement from Chrysler word for word, and then afterwards we'll dive more into the recall as far as the specifics. FCA US LLC is voluntarily recalling an estimated 1.48 million trucks in the US to help prevent occupants from inadvertently moving the vehicle's gear shifters out of the park position. The recall is limited to vehicles equipped with shifters mounted on their steering columns. Those with rotary dial shifters or floor-mounted shifters are unaffected. An FCA US review of field data led to the discovery that brake transmission shift interlock, BTSI, may not function properly if subject to specific high-temperature conditions for prolonged periods. The conditions are consistent with those that occur when there is a protracted brake pedal application while a vehicle is idling in park. If BTSI becomes disabled, a vehicle shifter may be moved out of park without brake pedal application or the presence of a key in the ignition. In some circumstances, a vehicle may exhibit inadvertent movement if its parking brake has not been set as recommended in FCA US owner's manuals. The company is aware of 7 potentially related injuries and a small number of potentially related accidents. FCA will restore BTSI function in the vehicles subject to this recall, advises Tom McCarthy, Head of Safety Compliance and Product Analysis. Nevertheless, as always, we urge customers to use their parking brakes as recommended and to ensure that child occupants are not left unattended. Affected are certain 2010 through 2017 Ram 2500 and 3500 series trucks, 2011 through 2017 Ram 3500, 4500, and 5500 series chassis cabs. 2016 through 2017 Ram 3500 chassis cabs with a gross vehicle weight rating of less than 10,000 pounds. Certain 2009 through 2017 Ram 1500 pickups are also included in the campaign, but heavy-duty trucks represent the majority of the affected vehicles. All model year 2017 trucks built after December 31st, 2016 are excluded. Additional populations of these vehicles are also being recalled in Canada, an estimated 249,520, Mexico, estimated 42,747, and certain markets outside the NAFTA region, estimated at 14,950. Affected customers will be advised when they may schedule service. FCA US urges all customers to heed the instructions on recall notices. Customers with concerns may call FCA US at 866-220-6747. Now with that out of the way, we can go ahead and talk about the 3 different processes that recalls such as this go through. The first one is the official notification that Chrysler puts out to the media. Basically, it's exactly what I just read to you. It's going to include the number of vehicles affected and also what the basic description of the problem is. Now you'll see it on the news agencies, you'll see it on Chrysler's website, and you'll see it posted on different social media websites. Now it's not very specific at this point, it's just saying 1.5 million. Now the second level is where it gets specific. That's where they send a mailer out to each and every one of the owners that are affected. So at that point you know that your vehicle's included. Now at this point there is no repair procedure, there are no parts or software depending on what's needed to fix the issue. That comes at a later date. Which brings us to level 3. Level 3 is you're notified that the parts or software is available or whatever the procedure that needs to be done, and you need to schedule to bring your vehicle in to have it done. So now you know what the recall is about, and you also know what the recall process is. The next thing I want to do is actually take a failed part that's included in this recall. I want to put it on the bench, we're going to take it apart, and I'm going to show you how it's supposed to work and what happens when it doesn't. And this right here is the assembly taken off the vehicle. Now I'm pointing out some key features now that we've got it up close. Right here is where the shifter arm goes through. We've got a bolt through the bottom that actually tightens down and squeezes and holds it in place. Up here there's a ball and socket joint that the shifter cable actually snaps onto. And we've got a total of 3 different fasteners around the perimeter to actually bolt the assembly to the steering column. And on the bottom here is the brake shift interlock solenoid. That's what the recall is concerning. We've got a white arm attached to it. That white arm is a mechanical override, so you can take it out of park if you need to tow the vehicle in case you have an electrical failure or the battery's dead. And it's this solenoid that we're going to be talking about throughout this video. Mainly how it's supposed to work and what happens when it fails. So when you look at the assembly, you'll see this aluminum arm in the center. Now on one end I showed you where the shifter arm is actually slid in and a bolt goes through to tighten it down. We've got a pivot in the middle, so it kind of works like a seesaw. And on the opposite end we've got this square area that's cast into the arm. Now that's what prevents you from coming out of park as far as moving the shifter arm when the solenoid's working properly. Now when there is a failure of some sort, you can actually pick up and rotate the shifter arm and put it into any other gear other than just park. So if everything is working properly and there is no issue with the solenoid, you should be able to have the key on, depress the brake pedal, and then you're allowed to take it out of park, or you can actually use that mechanical override. Now that's when everything's working fine. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is actually take the torque screws off the assembly so that way it's no longer bolted to the bracket. Once we get it off, we can actually take it all the way apart and actually show you how that mechanism works. So now with the assembly off, I can actually point out some key features. We've got the main portion of the solenoid, which is that plastic black housing. We've got a plunger that's in the middle that's actually metal with a rubber tip and a spring below it. And then we've got that mechanical override that we talked about before. Back there, there's a micro switch that can actually tell when that shifter arm has been moved. Now like I was describing a second ago, there is a spring up under this metal plunger. Currently the plunger's stuck in the down position, and when I move the mechanical override, nothing's happening. So for some reason the spring doesn't have enough spring tension to actually lift the plunger out of its bore, and for some reason it's stuck inside the solenoid. So I want to take it off and let's see what we can find. Now I've gone ahead and taken that mechanical override arm off, and I've got a pair of needle nose, and as I'm twisting that plunger out of its bore, it's taking some effort. So that's obviously why it's stuck in the down position. On the back side you can actually see that spring that I was talking about. Now as Chrysler mentioned in the recall, sitting there with the brake pedal depressed for long periods of time causes that solenoid to get hot, and that distorts the bore that the plunger goes in. Now this is what a good working solenoid looks like. You can see that that plunger is sitting a lot higher than the other one was, and when I move that mechanical override, I'm actually pushing down on the plunger, and when I let go, the spring actually pushes it back up. So that's the way the system's supposed to be working when there is no failure with that solenoid. Now while we still got assembly taken apart and I've got a working solenoid in front of us, I want to show you how it interacts with that arm that the shifter arm's mounted to. As you can see here, you cannot lift it up and move it out apart because the plunger is fully extended. Now when you depress the brake pedal or use that mechanical override, we're actually retracting that plunger back into its bore, and now we can move that shifter arm and take it out apart. Now that's the way the system is designed to work when everything's working perfectly. Now some of you may have already replaced this assembly for this issue, or you may plan on replacing it because you're concerned because it's currently coming out of park and you don't want to wait for the recall to come out. Nonetheless, make sure to keep your paperwork and your receipts. That way you can try to get Chrysler to possibly reimburse you for that. Now if you get any questions or comments directly related to the recall, I want you to call FCA at 1-866 to 206747. They're going to have all the details related to this, possibly dates on when the notifications will come out, and they may even have the dates when the parts might be available. So what are you going to do in the meantime while you're waiting for the recall? Remember, you're going to be using your parking brake, and you're not going to be leaving any children unattended in the vehicle. That was directly stated from Chrysler at the beginning of this video. We don't want anybody to get hurt in the meantime while we're waiting for parts to become available. Now remember, this video is just me notifying you of Recall T79. This is not officially from Chrysler, and I do not represent Chrysler in any way. So if you like the video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up on YouTube. Don't forget you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you got any comments or suggestions about anything you saw in today's video or anything Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram related, you can always email me at david@motorcitymechanic.com. If this is the first time you've seen one of my videos, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, and next to that is a bell icon. If you click that, you'll get notified instantly when videos such as this get uploaded. If you like to shop on Amazon, please feel free to use the link that's in the description below this video. Any purchase that you make will help support this channel. Once again, everybody, thanks for watching all these videos.